Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome to my channel. About to do a little short video about my polyamorous love life while at the same time doing my makeup. If you're wondering what I am putting on my face, I am putting on one of my favorite creams. It's very pricey. It's called a Uromedic. And it's enrichment cream for age prevention. It is so yummy smelling. I can't even describe how yummy it smells, but it is just so good. I had put on some glycolic acid on my face before putting this on. And a little bit goes a long way. Anyway, enough of that. So let me just do my makeup and answer all the questions that people always ask me about my polyamorous relationship. So first question is, do we have three-ways? And the answer is no. We do not have three-ways. We don't engage in those kind of acts. And it's really because I'm not really into it. As in, I've never done it and I'm just not into it. I think it's really because I really appreciate the one-on-one time that I have with them. And I think that our intimate life is very sacred. And again, there's probably people that do engage in three ways or four ways or whatever ways they want. But I don't need to like spice up my sex life in that way. Like it's not like something I need to do. So have we had conversations about it? Yeah, we've had conversations about it, but the conversations are usually like, is this something like that you want in the future? Or is that something that you like are looking for? And all of us have agreed that it's just something we don't need. We don't need it. It's not something we're looking for. So yeah, I just dropped it. Anyways, so what I'm using right now is my e.l.f. Professional Firm Putty, which is amazing because I do have scars, but my scars are slowly going away because I'm, getting work done on my face to clear up my skin. So the next question I'm always asked is like, jealousy. Do you guys get jealous? I think like the only time jealousy is a thing is if like I'm not doing something I'm supposed to do and I feel like, there may be someone else doing it, and I don't exactly feel like it's jealousy. It's just feeling like, dang, I'm slacking, because for me, like if my partner can find peace elsewhere or they feel like dealing with someone else takes the load off of me in certain areas of our life, then what is there to be jealous of? It's supposed to be making my life easier. But again, that comes with the knowing and the open communication of where we stand as a couple. Like the trust has to be there, the honesty has to be there, and the commitment has to be there. But if I feel like it's not actually happening that way, then there will be a problem. Like I will feel like, I don't know if I feel comfortable with you seeing someone if we're not right. If it's not right at home, then I don't think it makes sense. And like, and when I say it's not right at home, I mean like our communication is completely off. We're not spending any time together. We're not prioritizing each other. We're not doing like the house duties or the things that we usually do to make each other comfortable and happy. So I'm just going in with my concealer. Yeah, I'm gonna look like a freaking clown. So yeah, so that's one of the big things. My concealer here is from CoverGirl. It's a little scratched up because I don't use it much. It's like usually in the bottom of my makeup kit. So, do they get jealous? So, they do not get jealous unless I'm giving too much attention to one and not the other. But I don't think they even get jealous. It's more of a, hey, don't forget me. Because they're just not insecure guys. They have experienced enough in life that as far as when it comes to dealing with insecurity, they've just learned how to manage that well before I even met them. And I mean, I do ask questions like, hey, is this bothering you? So it's not like I'm assuming they're not jealous. I just know by their behavior that they will address me or they'll show me, hey, I'm not okay with that. They'll give me the death stare or just simply like, or they'll just outright say, no, you're not gonna do this, or no, you need to spend time here doing what you need to do, or whatever the case is. It's just not really anything. Nothing's really left to secret. So if you're wondering what I'm using also for like the contouring of my face, I'm using Makeup Forever. Some people use this as lipstick. Some people use this as a tint. Some people use this as like a eyeshadow. I use this as my contour kit. Our relationship, I mean, so people ask me, like, how did you become poly? How did this even, like, come about? Well, I've always been poly. I just so happened to get into this relationship with my primary partner, and when I first met him, within 45 minutes of meeting him, I told him, hey, I'm poly. This is my lifestyle. This is what I got going on. And if you're not into it, I totally get it. No big deal. The following week, we actually went out and we had like an amazing date. And we never stopped seeing each other after that. Which was like, I wasn't like necessarily surprised, but I was kind of like, oh, he's okay. He's not freaking out, and he's not like asking me a billion questions about it. And I feel at some point I did feel like, why isn't he asking me questions about it? Because like, most guys, even if they're not interested in me, they'll still ask because they're interested in knowing like what the point is, like why I'm poly. I'm also using the palette for added blush. Y'all, I look like a little clownette. But he knew that I was poly, and I really wasn't trying to change him. Like, I told him, like, if for whatever reason you feel like, this life is, like, not for you, I get it. And I didn't even introduce him to my lifestyle until, as far as, like, actively practice polyamory, until our relationship was completely established. I mean, I always talked about it, and by always I mean like once every couple of months, like just share with him my thoughts about polyamory. Not necessarily talk about wanting to be with other people, but just telling him, hey, this could be something in the future, even for you. Like maybe you'll get tired of being monogamous to me, and it's okay. Like I don't I would not get upset. You know, I don't own your body. You don't own mine. Like when I have my period and I'm going through, you know, my horrible endometriosis pain. Like if you have endometriosis, you know how painful it is. Like, you know, you don't go through the pains I go through. You know, when I get a migraine, you're not the one feeling it. What I eat doesn't make you shit. So, I mean, unless I'm cooking for you and you're pooping what I made, right? But yeah, I always felt like at some point he might not want a monogamous relationship, and I was gonna have to respect that. He's more on the monogamous type, but because even when we would have friends over or I had male friends around, I never showed like disrespect. I never gave more attention to a different guy. Even if there was a hot guy in a room, it wasn't like I'd be like, damn, and staring. I was just never that kind of person. You know, I was always, and I'm still like very respectful in that sense where, I mean, I might be somewhere with him and I'm not gonna look twice at somebody else. Cause for why? He's already gorgeous. Like I don't need to look elsewhere. Another thing is like, people ask me like, well, how do you find someone else? And like, so my situation's a little bit unique in a sense because I have a partner who's understanding about it. But I also moved to California, and moving to California was a huge change for both of us. And I'm over here doing my film stuff, and it was getting super lonely, like extremely lonely. And seeing your partner and them flying over, you know, once in a while, it's just not the same. It's like, it's not the same. You don't really get to spend time together. The time is very short. And my partner is not like the type of person who cares for physicality like that much either. He's not like the type of person who obsesses over sex, who like if he doesn't have it, he'll go crazy. Whereas for me, it's like I need to have like a steady sexual routine. And like I said, my partner isn't that way. He's also very, very hardworking. So his stress levels are extremely high all the time. And I don't want to put no pressure on the guy, you know? I don't want to be like, hey, whatever, let's do this. And I rather just set up the room or our home, to where it's relaxing and he could feel at peace versus trying to hook up with him. Because he's just under a lot of stress and he thinks a lot about work. And so I'm just not interested in being the type of person who's trying to make him do it all the time, you know. But again, I was all the way here in Cali, and it was getting super lonely, and it's kind of dangerous to be out here by yourself, you know. And I live up in the mountains, and where I used to live before I met my secondary partner, it was okay. It wasn't like extremely dangerous, but it was very lonely, very secluded. And sometimes I would just be like, dang, like I really would love company. I can't go to a dating app and find somebody that's totally okay with my lifestyle. It's that's the dog. That's not my stomach. It's hard to find people that are totally okay with my lifestyle because what they assume is just that I just party and like I'm just hooking up and I'm out in these streets doing my thing. In reality, I don't really go out. I don't really try to get into it with people. Like I'm very like, I'm the person that if you invite me to a party, I'm only there for like an hour. An hour or two, if that, give or take, because I'm just not I don't want to say I'm antisocial, and I'm working on that. I think a little bit has to do with my weed consumption. Like, I used to smoke way too much weed, and I'll be like, you know what, I need to like stay home because I don't want to be awkward. But now I'm much better at that, and still, even though I'm much better at that, I do not go out as much. So that made things even harder, made me still quite lonely anyway. People ask me if I, like, how does the situation, like, who pays for dinner? Usually it really depends on who invites. So if I invite them to dinner, I pay. And a lot of the times they're like, no, we're gonna pay. So then we just end up splitting it in three. If let's say my primary partner asks me to go out, we'll go out by ourselves. But if he wants, my secondary partner to come along, or I want my secondary partner to come along, I either offer to pay my secondary partner's meal, or my secondary partner's like, no, I'll just split it, me and him. And because I eat very little, I end up actually just eating off of both their plates. So it ends up being a cheap date anyway. Like, it's like, she's barely gonna eat, bro. Like, so that's kind of fun. It's kind of fun, and we save money. Both my partners do completely different things they're both entrepreneurs, but they both do different things. And they're very opposite from each other. Like, for example, my primary partner is more of like the type who wants to read a billion books and like stay home and doesn't care for the outdoors much. Whereas my other partner, he's like adventurous and he needs to be out in the outdoors and he loves that. And I'm that way. I love being in the outdoors, but I also love being at home. So I have definitely those sides of me where I'm like, I'd rather be home, and other sides of me that's like, I also want to be in nature and I want to go camping, and my secondary partner loves camping, so I could appreciate that. He loves his fast cars and motorcycles, and he likes fixing things up. Well, my other partner is more of like trying to do, like, he cares more about like psychology and those kind of matters, which I really, really, really appreciate. I love that. Another question people ask me is like, how do you guys like share your time? So it all really depends on the time we have. So sometimes my primary partner is extremely busy during the week because of work. Or I'm extremely busy because of work. Or my secondary partner is extremely busy because of work. And it really all comes down to our schedules and like when we sleep. So both of my partners go to sleep extremely early. I'm a night person, so I go to sleep usually like at 3 a.m. And so it really just comes down to like how much my partners want to be active. So if my primary partner doesn't like going out that much, we usually go out like once every 2 weeks. But with my secondary partner, sometimes like during the summer, we might go out once a week, but when it's not summertime, we stay in. So another question I get asked is like, who cooks or cleans? We all cook and clean. But I do the majority of the cooking because they're just not that great of cooks. but I do the majority of the cooking. And as far as the cleaning, I also do the majority of the cleaning with my secondary partner. I do it more because we don't have like a what's it called? We don't have someone that comes and cleans up for us. We don't have like a home assistant. But back in my primary partner's home, we do, so I don't have to clean as much. It's nice. It's nice to have two people in your life that you really enjoy their company. I really enjoy both of my partner's company because they really bring two different type of vibes to my life. It's nice. You know, it's nice to have partners that enjoy different sides of you, and you can enjoy different sides of them. Because like with my primary, he's, like I said, very studious. He just rather stay home. He's not very adventurous, and I'm okay with that because I tend to be the one who's more adventurous. But sometimes I get tired of being the over adventurous one, and it's nice to have someone like my secondary partner who is more adventurous than me, and it just kind of shows me, hey, you know, you can learn a lot more. You could learn a little bit more about, you know, your adventurous side. So it's cool. It's nice. So one is more adventurous, so it's nice. It brings me a lot of peace to have someone that is also adventurous and could also bring me out of my shell. Because sometimes when I'm with my primary partner, I could get really brainy and like super intense because we're the type of couple that will talk for 4, 5, 6 hours straight about different philosophies of life and different things of that nature, which I really, really love. But sometimes my brain needs a break, and my secondary partner is definitely that kind of guy who is like, hey, let's get on the road and let's climb a mountain together, or let's I don't know, let's go off-roading, let's go bungee diving or bungee jumping or whatever. Let's go outside, and I love that. So I'm gonna go in now with my mascara, and I am not very good at like doing my face in like a particular order. I just do it in the order that works for me. And if you hear little footsteps, that's our dog. So we have a bunch of pets. My secondary partner has a dog and a turtle, and I have a dog and a lizard, a bearded dragon. So our house has a bunch of little animals all around. Look how nice that is. I love Makeup Forever. Makeup Forever, I mean, I feel like they've made it so easy for me to do my makeup, because before I just could not, for the life of me, get it down. And I'm just not a big makeup person. But for the sake of this YouTube video and not staring into the camera like a weirdo, I decided, why not? Look how pretty that is. Super nice. And I already have really long eyelashes, so that's probably a plus. I wish they were longer, but, you know, I'm not willing to get lash extensions because I've tried to put on eyelashes, like those long ones, and it actually hurts my eyes. My eyes like either start burning, or I just really don't enjoy it. It's not fun at all. So while this is drying, my mascara, I'm going to go in with my lip liner, which is from Palladio. Got it on Amazon. I don't know if you can see that. You probably can't. I'm gonna go in with my lip liner. People love the lip liner look. So I try to do a little part in the middle of my lip, just so they look a little juicier. Lipstick. My lipsticks, the ones that I usually use are in one of my pockets, one of my pants pockets. I'm over here trying to find one of my glosses. Oh, right here. I'm gonna go in with the Winky Lux to give it a little bit more moisture, because that one's a little bit more matted. Flaring up my nostrils. Let me see. All right. So done with my lips. I'm gonna go in with some eyeliner as well. So the way I like to do my eyeliner is like I like to do the top eye line and the bottom eye line. Whew. So with my relationship, people say, you know, like, why don't you get married? You know, especially like women that are feminists, you know, they're like, you are like you stay at home and they take care of you and this and that. Well, I also work from home. I'm a content creator, and also I do tarot. I'm a dating coach. And when I mean dating coach, not just for like poly people, but for every kind of relationship, because I believe that in order for you to have a healthy poly relationship, you have had to master a monogamous relationship. Not everybody feels that way, but those are my personal beliefs, and I'm gonna stick beside that. So, like I said, I'm not like this big makeup buff. I'm not perfect at this. I'm just starting to get really into it. And I think it's just because when you're over here in LA, you gotta look your best, you know. You never know who you run into. You never know who you're gonna talk to. And so when you're walking out that door, you gotta look good, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go in. So I'm using the Fenty Beauty, it's called the Killawatt Foil. I don't know if this is discontinued, but it's one of my favorites, and I seldomly use it because I don't want to like waste it. And like I'm literally running out. Like I have to get, but I just love it so much. I'm not going to buy a new one until I am done with it, because I believe in making sure that you aren't wasting stuff. So I don't want to waste it. I want to make sure I use it all. I go in on my nose with this one and give it that nice contour. So Like it. A little bit here on the chinny chin. And then I'm going to give myself a little bit of a shimmer on my cheekbones. I got these brushes from Amazon. So I try to feel my cheekbone. It's like right here. So right here. All right. I saw this new thing where you put like your eyeliner right here and you go into the tip, the end of your eye and go upwards. I completely butchered that, but I'll fix it. I'll fix it here in a second. That one came out great. The other one just horrific. Totally not good. I'm gonna just go in with this real quick and just clean it up. There we go. One is higher than the other. Typical for my makeup routine. That I make one go higher than the other, but I just like go in with like one of my brushes and kind of just brush it out. People are always wondering, like, you know, if you're not married, like, how are you gonna be secure? And I feel like I've met so many women that are married or were married and became widowed, and they had to set up a GoFundMe. They've had to struggle even with the money that their husband left behind from the life insurance. And I think that, you know, if someone cares about you, they will do anything to make sure that you're good. It doesn't matter if you're married or not. With me and my partners, everything is done contractually with power of attorney. And my marriage, when it does happen, my legal marriage, when it does happen, because I look at my primary partner like my husband, and I look at my secondary partner like my spouse. However, it's not legal, but we have so many things that together, you know, it's like under my name or together's name, and it feels like a marriage, and we still have the same responsibilities a marriage has. And I've just seen women that were married still struggle after a divorce. And I really think it all comes down to how much your husband cares about you or how much you guys care about each other. Things are different now. Like, women are paying child support too. Women are paying alimony too. So there's just so many different things that have changed, that using, oh, you need to get married and not be a stay-at-home spouse or girlfriend, you can't do that because you're gonna end up being screwed in the end. And that may be true, but I've seen people get screwed even with all that being said, like being married and all that. Like, I've seen it happen. So I'm not going to act like it doesn't exist. Like, people don't end up in bad situations even while being married. So I'm going in, giving myself a little bit of blush before I finish. I keep dropping everything, y'all. I'm going to give myself a little bit of Makeup Forever powder, which I love. I love their powder. And I'm just gonna sweep over my face just to smooth out everything. If you're wondering why I have my headset on, it's because it's entirely way too quiet over here. And lastly, I'm gonna do my brows. I do my brows last because they're already how do I say? I've already, like, I tattooed my eyebrows. Let's just say that. I tattooed them, so I just don't feel like I really have to go in. But like I said, for the sake of this video, I might. You know what? I'm just gonna go in lightly, like with one of my eyeliners, because I don't really care for. I just kind of do a nice little brush, like on the top, because like I said, it's already tattooed. I need to clean it up a little bit, so I'm gonna go in with my. There we go. But you know, whatever works for you. If you feel like monogamy is the best for you, do monogamy. You know, I love monogamous couples just as much as I love poly couples. I don't like poly couples that do it only because, you know, one of the partners is super insecure, so they're like, let me just do this to make my partner happy or to keep them. I don't like those relationships, or because the communication's bad, so now they're just using the poly lifestyle as like a band-aid. It's like, you know, if you're not really built for it, don't try to force yourself to be built for it, because I don't think it's cool, and that could actually bring added stress into your relationship. And I think it's better if people that are monogamous stay monogamous, and if they are with someone who is poly and they don't agree with it, just go to what makes you happier. So now the hair. I have braids. My secondary partner did my braids. He's been trying to learn how to braid my hair because, well, he's a very hands-on kind of guy, and I could really appreciate that. I have rubber band here, so I'm not trying to mess with my hair too much. Take off all these rubber bands. I've been really trying to take care of my hair, y'all. But it's been incredibly difficult being in Los Angeles because of the weather. The weather makes it so much harder. It's very dry, and so taking care of my hair takes a little bit of extra love and extra attention, and I'm not used to it. You know, when I'm in Florida, I kind of just, you know, wash my hair with some oils and leave it the hell alone. But over here, it needs a little bit of extra attention because it will get so dry to the point where breakage is inevitable. I mean, breakage is inevitable in general, but it's just so much more breakage. So water softener, your friend, girl. I'm going to unbraid my hair now. Just checking if you guys are still here with me and you didn't shut down. See how like the ends are terrible? Yeah, I'm trying to get it together, y'all, with the hair situation. Will I ever be monogamous? So I have been monogamous before, but But I really didn't see the point of staying monogamous when I just wasn't happy being monogamous. And the thing is like a big part of why I would get depressed when I was younger was because I felt like I could never be true to myself and true to my lifestyle and true to how I really feel about my preferences when it came to relationship styles. And by the time I was about 26, I became more, I want to say more vocal about it, because when I was younger, I would say it, but people would shut me out and say, no, you can't do that. That's like so not okay for a woman to practice. And so I didn't want to like disappoint people in my family or people that were religious that I was close to, and I wanted to follow this thing. But the more I got older, I saw how people live their lives, and I was just like, people live their lives however they want. They could say whatever they want in front of others, but everybody is living their life their way regardless of what they're saying to you. Like, somebody could be like, man, smoking is bad, you shouldn't smoke, but, behind your back, they're hitting a joint. Or, oh, you should be faithful, you should be this, you should be that, but behind everybody's back, they're having affairs. And I never was the type of person that wanted to live a life of secrecy. And I don't plan on living a life of secrecy. I believe in having a, private life, and if you want to be in solitude, it's up to your discretion when you feel like it, not when people feel like you should. There's a time where you're gonna want privacy and time for yourself, and maybe there's gonna be a time where I don't want to share anything on my YouTube channel about my personal life, and there may be times that I will. And you see this dryness, y'all? Ugh, so horrible. But yeah, I just started growing up and realizing that no matter what people say, they always got something going on in the back end. They're just not telling you. I've seen it so many times. I think that things took a turn for me, like when I would see leaders at church saying, oh, well, you gotta be faithful, you gotta follow God, you gotta do the right thing, and then they'll run off with the pulpit girl. Like, I'm like, wait, what? And those are bad examples, but it's just an example of like how I felt like the hypocrisy was so alive and well. It's just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, if you want to live your life, live it. And yes, there's a bad way to live life, and there's a good way to live life. There's people that are quote unquote in monogamous marriages and they treat each other terribly, and there's people that are in non-monogamous marriages and they're actually happy. This isn't like, it's not like I'm, running a cult. It's like, you could be here if you want to be here. I choose to be here because I want to be here. It's not about me being held captive or anything like that. If anything, my heart's held captive by the love bug. See how my hair is just dry? It's getting better, but it takes a lot of work to get my hair to where it needs to be. I'm gonna spray it up a little bit with my concoction. I made this concoction the other day. Has a little bit of hyaluronic acid in it, castor oil, jojoba, jojoba, has leave-in conditioner from Miele. Olive oil. Give my hair that nice slippage. The dog hates it, by the way. The dog hates when I spray my hair. I'm almost done, guys, with my final lick. What do you guys think? Alright, so I hope you guys liked my video. If you have any more questions, hit me up. Email me at... God, I have so many emails. So you can email me at aphrodisiacdating@gmail.com. Or you could find me on Instagram at aphrodisiacdating. Or find me on Facebook, Cristela Stefania. And I'm out of here.